current grading system. The current grading system that we are all familiar with when we were students on a 0 to 100 point scale, percentages. Some of the things that we took a look at that we were concerned about is the subjectivity of our current grading system, where we include things like effort, simply being present, and the idea that some teachers give quizzes and some do not. Some use formative and summative tests, perhaps 4, 5, 6, some do not. The level of consistency from teacher to teacher, not only in this building, but specifically from the 4 elementary schools as they funneled into the middle school, were being taught and assessed differently, thus their grades were not normed. So an 85 or a standard 3 in quorum may not be the same thing at West Middle Island. Since we have nearly an 90% opt-out rate on our state tests here, we didn't have much of a metric to determine student success as they related to other students in New York State and nationally. So we began to look at our grading practices as they related to the first state test that students would take at the high school, in this case, the Algebra Regents. And what we noticed was alarming, that there was a discrepancy of nearly 20% of the grades that students were earning in 8th grade. For example, a 65 or a 70 or an 85, and an average of 20% discrepancy on their performance then on the Algebra Regents when they got to 9th grade. So the indicators that we were leaving students with as they left our building was perhaps that they were doing fine, and then on a state Regents exam, they were not. This year we give IXL data, which is a normed, standardized test as it compares students to New York State and nationally. And this is a number that was alarming to us and really a true motivation for moving toward a standards-based model. Our current IXL data that was given in the first quarter to our 7th grade, specifically in this case, 50% of those students were 3 or more years below grade level in both math and ELA. Excuse me. And if you take a look at last year, we nearly had 60% of our 7th grade make the honor roll. And if you just think about that number for a moment, that means there is a group of students that are currently functioning in the 7th grade on a 4th grade level in both math and ELA, but would be recognized as honor roll with a level of grade inflation as we discussed earlier. It is important to recognize, and it's not something that we're proud of, but grade inflation does exist, and grading is not consistent. For example, an 80 is not a true 80, a 65 is not a true 65, and a 99 is not truly a 99 all of the time.